Welcome to Çözüm TV. My name is Gürkan, and here is a summary of this week's events. Martyr of the hunger strike resistance, revolutionary Gürkan Türkoğlu was laid to rest in his family's hometown, while his lawyer and those wishing to attend the funeral were prevented from doing so by the gendarmerie. Tuğçenir Özbay's 161-day hunger strike ended in victory. She was transferred to Gebze prison, where the degrading practice of compulsory ID badges is not enforced. İrfan Yılmaz, a revolutionary with a certified 96% disability, continues to be held in prison. German police detained members of the Until Victory delegation, preventing them to travel into Iran. The NATO summit in Ankara ended on a sour note, as it should have. While Iran was holding funeral ceremonies for the late Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, US imperialism launched missile strikes on Iran's coastal regions. Iran responded in retaliation. Here are the details. First, I will read the statement of People's Front Europe. Do not rejoice, O tyrants. You could not kill Gürkan Türkoğlu. Gürkan will continue to live on in our struggle, our resistance, our associations, our homes, and our minds. He will be the guide to our future victories against you. Our people, a brave son of people, has fallen as a martyr. Gürkan Türkoğlu, a hunger strike resistor who stood on the front lines of the resistance against the pit-type prisons, fell as a martyr after a long and arduous struggle between life and death. For a resistor, it is impossible to speak of losing the struggle between life and death, because through his resistance, he had already won that struggle. He had already inscribed his name in the ranks of the immortal. The murderer is fascism. He did not die of natural causes in a hospital. His murderer is fascism. His murder is fascism because they sought to bury prisoners alive in pit-type prisons, forcing them to choose hunger and death. His murder is fascism because they subjected a prisoner on an indefinite hunger strike to forced intervention in an attempt to break his resistance. While the imperialists were holding the NATO summit in the capital of Turkey, and those who governed the country competed with one another to serve imperialism, a fighter for independence fell as a martyr. His murderers are NATO's collaborators. F-type prisons and pit-type prisons exist primarily to preserve the systems of exploitation, plunder, and pillage maintained by imperialism in our country and throughout the world. For this reason, the murders of Gürkan Türkoğlu are NATO, the EU, and the United States. The revolutionaries of Anatolia will add the account to be settled for Gürkan Türkoğlu to their struggle and continue to fight for independence, democracy, and socialism against imperialism and fascism. He fought, he was imprisoned. During his imprisonment, he won victories through resistance. We shall keep him alive through resistance. For many years, Gürkan Türkoğlu organized his people's struggle against fascism. He continued his struggle for many years under underground conditions. He was imprisoned in 2021. When the pit-type prisons were introduced, he was transferred to Antalya pit-type prison. On 30th of July 2025, he began an indefinite hunger strike demanding the closure of the pit-type prisons and transfer to a prison that is not of the pit-type. Victory was won on 21st of April 2026. However, one day before that victory, the executioners of fascism subjected Gürkan Türkoğlu to forced intervention. On 24th of April, his mother called out to him, "My son, get up now. We have won the victory." Gürkan raised his hand, blinked his eyes, and saluted his victory. While recovering, his health deteriorated once again, and on Sunday, the 5th of July, he fell as a martyr at Antalya City Hospital. Our people, yes, our children are dying. Yes, our comrades are falling as martyrs. Yes, we are paying the price because we resist, because we possess the courage and the honor to resist imperialism and fascism. Neither F-type prisons, nor pit-type prisons, nor any other form of oppression has ever succeeded in forcing us to submit, and they never will. Our people, be proud of your martyred children. Be proud of the Gürkans. Grieve, but do not mourn. Be angry. Turn your anger into struggle and step forward in the people's just cause. And you do not rejoice, you tyrants. You may believe that you have killed them, but our brave fighters do not die. Look at history. Look into the heart of the people. Look at the picture of our struggle. You will find there all those whom you believed you had killed. You will find Mahir, Deniz, and Ibo there. You will find Supi, Che, Sabo, Sinan, and Niyazi there. You will find the 122 whom you believed you had killed in the F-type prisons there. After Ebru and Ibo, Gürkan has now taken his place among them, and they will continue to light our path. They will continue to be the guide to our victories. Our people, our comrades. Let us bid Gürkan Türkoğlu the farewell he deserves. Let us honor him through our commemorations and through our actions expressing our anger at fascism. Let us salute him as he deserves. We shall keep Gürkan Türkoğlu alive through his resistance and his victory. Victory is ours. Victory belongs to those who resist. Today, Gürkan continues to live in our resistance, in our hearts, in our homes, in our neighborhoods, in our songs, in our newborn children, and in our struggle. With every new act of resistance, he shows us the way. With every new sacrifice, he gives us courage. With every new victory, he marches beside us. And while the pain of Gürkan's loss is still fresh in our hearts, the values for which he fought have met with another victory. Devgenç member Tuğçener Özbay has won. For a full 160 days, she resisted through hunger against the imposition of the criminal identity card at Şakran Women's Prison. She declared, "We are not criminals, we are revolutionaries." And she spoke these words not only with her voice, but with her body, her revolutionary determination, and her resistance. A revolutionary determination prepared to face death cannot be defeated. Those who are just and those who resist will surely prevail. And we shall continue writing the history of the liberation of Anatolia. Be afraid. From now on, keep one eye open at all times. The weak shall take what is rightfully theirs from the strong, and you will not escape accountability for what you have done. You cannot destroy Devgenç by detaining, imprisoning, or killing its members. We are the patriotic sons and daughters of our 80 million people. You cannot destroy the members of Devgenç who have had the courage to love Anatolia. We shall deepen your fears. Tuğçener has won, saluting Gürkan's victory. Victory is ours. Victory belongs to those who resist. Long live Devgenç. Long live our organized struggle. Meanwhile, the revolutionary prisoners continue their resistance against the criminal identity badge and 24-hour camera surveillance. Group Yorum member Cem Dursun began an indefinite hunger strike on 29th of April, day 74 today. Devgenç member Taceddin Erol Şahin began on the same day and day of 74 of his resistance today. Hasan Basri Yıldız began on 18th of May, today's 55th day. The same day, Can Kaba began, and the Bakican Işık began on 4 days later, and today is his 51st day. Fırat Özçelik began on the 8th of June, and today is the 34th day. Ali Dilmen began an indefinite hunger strike on the 22nd of May, and today is the 51st day. The revolutionary prisoners are the only force resisting the attempts of imperialism and fascism to force people into submission. Meanwhile, another revolutionary, İrfan Yılmaz, who is 59 years old, 96% disabled, depending on a wheelchair, and an honorable working man. He is unable to meet his basic daily needs without assistance. According to the authorities, Turkey's security is threatened by a man who is 96% disabled. And because he has sympathy for the organization, organized activity and members of the organization, the AKP's fascist government continues to keep him in prison. Yes, he poses a threat because he has refused to submit to the fascist regime governed by the AKP, the collaborator of the murderous United States and one of the NATO terrorist organization's most enthusiastic members. But how can a bedridden man possibly threaten public security? İrfan Yılmaz himself asked the justified question. If a disabled man like me, bedridden and unable to meet even the most basic human needs without assistance, is a danger to public security, then what are you doing there and what are you being paid for? The collaborator and fascist AKP government continues to imprison İrfan Yılmaz despite an official medical report stating that he cannot remain in prison. İrfan Yılmaz also says, a person can live without arms and legs, without speech, sight or hearing, but never without honor. İrfan Yılmaz must be released immediately under Article 16 of the law on the execution of sentences. This is simply another form of torture. Torture is inhuman and it is a crime, and there's injustice. Leaving a disabled political prisoner to die behind bars demonstrates that this country's, Turkey's prison system is not part of a system of justice, but of a system of fascist oppression. İrfan Yılmaz must be released immediately. Freedom for all ill prisoners. The anti-victory delegation was stopped and detained by the police of Imperialist Germany while traveling to Iran via Armenia. According to the delegation, the police assaulted the participants, handcuffed them, and subjected them to forced street searches as though they were criminals. The delegation was traveling to Iran to share in the mourning of the Iranian people and to demand justice for the 168 school children of Minab, which was massacred by American missiles. Although 9 members were later released, Celal Kaya was held for more than 24 hours before being deported to the United Kingdom without any explanation. His fundamental rights were violated and there was no legal justification for his deportation. The People's Front Greece issued the following statement. German imperialism is an accomplice of the murderous Israeli state. Once again, the German state has demonstrated that it stands alongside Israel. At Cologne-Bonn airport, it detained members of the anti-victory delegation with violence as they were preparing to travel to Iran. Their passports were confiscated and they were taken into custody. Whatever you do, you will not prevent us from going to Iran. We are in the right. Our cause is legitimate. We are doing what we believe is just. The German state has continued to commit crimes against the peoples of the world from the Nazi era to the present day. We know that Nazism did not disappear with Hitler's death. Even if they have not openly ruled since 1945, we believe the Nazi mentality continues to shape the German state. We know the fascist mentality hidden behind the mask of democracy. We hold the German state responsible for supporting Israel's massacres in Palestine, where more than 73,000 Palestinians, including around 50,000 women and children, have been killed. Germany has backed and enabled these massacres. We know the German state through its use of Articles 129A and B, which have been used to prosecute and imprison Turkish revolutionists for years. We know the German state through Solingen. We know the German state through the NSU murders carried out by neo-Nazis. We know how the German state has protected Nazis. Germany is one of the G7 countries. It is an imperialist power and an enemy of the peoples of the world. Today, we see Germany standing on the same side as those whom we hold responsible for the deaths of the 168 children killed in Iran. The German state is hostile to all peoples who resist imperialism, including Iranian people. That is why it is trying to prevent the anti-victory delegation from traveling to Iran. But whatever they do, they will not stop us. By ignoring even its own laws, the German state, an ally of Israel, has once again revealed that what we regard as its fascist face. Our comrades in the Until Victory delegation were violently detained. These unlawful actions will not divert us from our path. We want to go to Iran. Your detentions and your violence will not make us turn back. On the contrary, today we are even more determined than before to reach Iran. If German imperialism is trying to stop us, then we know we are on the right path. We will continue to walk the path we believe is right. We will keep the promise we made to the 168 girls of Minab. We will continue to expose those we hold responsible for their deaths wherever we can. Down with imperialism, long live our struggle. The NATO summit that was held in Ankara, Turkey, with sour-faced heads of imperialist countries and their collaborators. Whilst the tension between Trump and European counterparts was visible, the chairman of NATO played it low. There was no announcement of the actual reason why they chose to gather in Turkey, but using the land of Anatolia to establish a NATO military corps was definitely on the agenda. Whilst huge crowds gathered as Iran's late supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was buried after 6 days of funeral events, the US imperialism targeted locations near the strait. Iran's health ministry said 14 people had been killed and 78 people injured across 5 provinces. Iran retaliated by sending missiles and drones to the US assets in Kuwait, Bahrain, and Qatar. Later on, Thursday, there were more strikes on sites in Kuwait, Jordan, and Iraq. Iran's foreign ministry denounced the latest US strikes as a grave war crime, describing the US administration as evil and psychopathic. The body of the martyred leader of the Islamic Revolution was buried in the memorial hall of the shrine of Imam Reza. With crowds waiting outside and listening to prayers, the flag-covered coffin was carried into the shrine of Imam Reza in his home city of Mashhad in eastern Iran. Iran's parliamentary speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, who is also the country's chief negotiator with the US, said that America still hasn't learned that bullying and breaking promises are no longer cost-free. Let me put it plainly, if you strike, you will get hit. He wrote, adding that the Strait of Hormuz will only open under Iranian arrangements, not American threats. These were the latest news. Thank you for watching Chosen TV.